Hello everyone, welcome to a new tutorial presented by the SA Charles AVA. In this tutorial, we're going to see loops in C++. Now, in this tutorial, we have already said loops are any statements or any element in a program that is going to perform an action for a multiple number of times. If, for example, I want to count from 1 to 1 million, then I'm going to do that action for a multiple number of times. Now, let's see. I'll create a small virus. It's just a small virus which is going to, when you enter the name of the author or the tutor, the virus stop. So what's a virus? A virus is any program that's a malware that is not effective for the functioning of the computer. So this small virus that I'm going to create is going to increase the space inside the RAM, and when you enter the name of the tutor, then it stop. It's just easy. You can just write the simplest ways to create a virus is just to write y in bracket 1 printf. No, not printf now, but count. So this is a simple virus. This is a simple virus. This is a simple computer virus. So now you have this count, a simple one, computer virus. Now when you do this, you compile while count. Now the problem is that I've placed count with a capital letter. I just remove count and then I do it. Compile and this. You see, this is a virus that is going to fill your memory all through with this. When you open, it's only going to fill the memory with this. So that's it. So if you leave this for a very long number of time, it's going to print that. Another way again to continue will be to do it and place the variables inside the memory space. When I'm going to do this, I'm sure that Avast is going to show itself. So example, so you have a while loop as such. When you have this while loop, y1, when I place 1 here, is to say that I'm always making the loop to be true, because you have to know that loops are considering booleans, and the if statement are also considering booleans in their brackets. So when you say a greater than 1 and a is actually greater than 1, so it's going to produce a boolean which is 1 or true. So when you say a is equals to 100 and a is equals to 100, actually it is going to produce a true boolean. So that's what's happening in this bracket. They are boolean expressions. Now let's say I want to fill my memory space with variables. So anytime I'm going to fill my memory space with variables. So in order to do this, you can just create an array which is going to have a multi number of times. So let's say that you have an array of ints, you write the array is virus, and when you have this array, you just write that in the array you have, let's say, 1500 values. So you have 1500, so it's going to occupy 1500 space in your memory space. It's going to do that. After doing that, it's going to do and initializing a value anytime to this array. So what happens is that I'm going to place another while loop, a nested loop, y into I is less than. So I will first initialize this array, and I cut here, and then I come down, I paste here. So yi is less than 1500, because 1500 is the last element. So I'll come here, I place int I equals to 0, because I is the initializer, is the one which is initializing. I is the initializing, I is the counter. So here I'm starting I from 0. So I'll place here, I continue, I go down, and I come yi. So here I can stop this, because this I equals to is not. So I want to place that is going to occupy the memory space by a number of 1500 number of times. So I'll stop it when it's going to come to 1500 number of times. So in the memory, I'm going to just store value 1. So I'm just going to say that this virus into I is just going to be equals to 1 every time, or I can place 2000 inside. When I place 2000 inside, and then I come down, I do I equals to I plus 1. I have this. So you have this like that, I less than that, so it's going to occupy 1500 memory allocation inside your space. So when you do that, you continue, and you are going to have extreme number of copy inside the memory space. Now you can also ask that to print or to count it, the values that are inside the memory space for the same number of times. So count the value of I. So count the value of I there anytime you do it. So I'll place this cut and place insert here as such. Paste, and I do that. So this is a small value, small array, which is going to enter into the memory space and is going to print the value of I anytime. So you can add that if you want to occupy the memory space larger, you can increase this number. So that's a small application of the loops to create a small virus. But sometimes viruses can serve in order for you to access your machine and easily control it. So now we are going to visualize other part of loops. We are going to have a loop that is going to just to write in the name for 10 times. So a simple way of doing that is to have a while loop. Just have a while loop. You want that the loop should have the name for 10 times. The first thing when you must have a loop is to initialize and declare a counter. This one here is a counter. A counter is what is going to be assessed when it's going to start at the level of the loop. So you have a counter. That counter, you say that is I equals to 0, is starting from 0. So when starting from 0, you have I, you see is less than 10. So starting from 0, less than 10 are going to show 10 elements. So I want a while loop that is going to print my name vertically 10 times. So I'm going to do a count. So count and write my name. ASCHRDEB. Now when I have this, in order for me to go to the next line, I will put this, or I can put the NL at this end. So I have this. So this is going to print my name vertically on a line. Now I want it to be shifted from the margin by a tab. So I have this. The while loop is used. So another loop that you can also use here is a do while loop. The do while loop will do the same thing, but the do while loop, you do not necessarily need the first information for it to be performed. So let's first see what the while loop is going to form. So when you compile the while loop, you have this, the SHRDB, SHRDB, So now the problem is that I didn't place a counter inside. You see that it was increasing. Now you see that the information will always be true because I is always equals to 0. As you see, it's entering, I will be equals to 0. Now in order to end the loop, I'll always have to put I is increasing, I equals I plus 1. So what happens here is that when I equals to 0, it enters. As it enters, it's going to print. When it comes here, it's going to add plus 1. So I will be plus 1 here. So now the new value of I will be 1. So the next thing, it enters, the new value of I will be 2. When I do that, it will print exactly 10 times. As such. Print exactly 10 times. So this is how to use the while loop. To use the do while loop, if I say now I is equals to I initialize the new value of I to be 100. Now I'm going to tap 10 times. So I'm going to write do. I'm going to print now what I want the do while loop to print. Count 2 dots. I want it to print this is the do while loop. I come out and then I do this. Now I say while in bracket I is so I do that while I is less than 10. So I will send the same information here while I is less than 10. So you see that when the first value of I here was 0, so it could enter the loop. Now here I've assigned the value of I now to 100. So I now enter. Now the thing is that I say while I is less than 10. So normally 100 is greater than 10. So it's not normally going to print this is the do while loop. It's not normally going to print that. But we are going to see what's going to happen with the do while loop. How this, because you have forgotten the semicolon at the end. The while loop, the do while loop must have a semicolon at the end here. So you do this and you have this. You see there is written this is the do while loop. But the question is why? It's not supposed to write this is the do while loop, because when you see here, you see that the do while I equals to 10. So here is I equals to 100. The problem is that the do while loop is going to perform the difference between the while loop and the do while loop is that the do while loop is going to perform the action for the first time before verifying if the information is true. Example, I send my junior brother to go and buy me a shoe of 2,000. Now my junior brother first go to the market without verifying that the money is exactly 2,000 to buy the shoe. It is only when he's at the market that he realizes that the money is not exactly 2,000. That's what the do while loop does. The do while loop first do enters into the loop as my brother first goes to the market, and then he verifies now if the I is less than 100. So it first performs the action and then verify if I have actually given 2,000. So that's it for this part and the loops. So the last loop that we are not going to involve, but you need to know its format, will be the for loop. And the for loop, you just know that the first value will be the initialization. After the initialization, the next value will be the comparison, I less than, let's say 10, and the last one will be the incrementation, I plus plus, or you can still write, if you don't want to write I plus, you can write I equals to I plus 1. They are the same thing, I plus 1. Or if you don't want to write I equals to I plus 1, you can still write I equals to plus equals to 1. So all these are the same thing if you close your bracket. So this will mark the end of the loops. Thanks for your kind attention.